Wanted to answer a few questions about print on demand. PODs are created from PDFs. The PDFs are created from scanned copies of original modules and source books. And in creating a PDF, as I understand it, the original has to be torn apart. It has to be destroyed. Basically, it's cut up into pieces and scanned. I've been led to believe that the PDFs are supplied by the publisher, as once I found a print error in one of the print-on-demands and notified DriveThruRPG, they said that they needed to contact the publisher to get it resolved. In this instance, WotC. All of these original plates, who's to tell where they're at nowadays? The only way that WotC can create PDFs for these older books is to purchase them off of the internet. Now, you may have heard of DM's Guild along with DriveThruRPG. They're the same company, owned by one bookshelf. DM's Guild is for independent publishers that create their own titles. DriveThruRPG is for established publishing houses like Wizards of the Coast, TSR, White Wolf, and the rest. How do you identify a POD? The last page of a POD is going to have a print batch number right down here. The more obvious signs for print on demand are that the covers are glossy, whereas the original covers of most of the older books are not. The next obvious bit is that the contents of the book are bound inside. This is an example of a perfect bound copy. Those pages are glued inside this book. They're not coming out. The original modules, on the other hand, the contents came out. They separated. Pardon my staple rust. Maps were printed on the inside covers of most of the modules. Print-on-demand modules will have the maps scanned as part of the contents of the book. In the scanning, there oftentimes are errors. For instance, Dwellers of the Forbidden City is missing the I in front of the 1. This is an I1 module. When I first get a book from DriveThruRPG, I go through every single page in the book, looking for print errors. For example, this copy of Waterdeep, when it was originally sent, did not have the map in the back. Instead, it had 5 blank pages. I contacted DriveThruRPG and they sent me a new copy, this time with a map in the back, divided into 3 pages. When issues arise with print on demand, DriveThruRPG usually takes the title down until the issue can be rectified. When you find issues with any of these print on demands, it's generally speaking, it's an issue with the printer. For instance, I got a copy of Van Richten's Guide to Werebeasts. Looked great, but on the inside there was nothing about werebeasts. It was all the contents of B1 through 9 in Search of Adventure, and they just sent out a new copy of the Van Richten's Guide to Werebeasts with the issue fixed. I received a copy of When Black Roses Bloom, and half of the pages were blank. You can resolve this by heading back to DriveThruRPG's website, and down towards the bottom there'll be a Contact Us link where you can state your complaint. If you ever have any kind of issues with your POD, they're going to ask you to reference this number here. They'll give you the option between a credit to your account for the cost of the book plus shipping, or they'll offer to send out another copy. As with any other new and completely awesome thing, the kinks need to be worked out. My only real complaint with DriveThruRPG is that a lot of the offerings don't have titles on their spines, which makes it a little difficult to pick a particular book off your bookshelf. But that's really a failing of whoever created the PDF, as the interior contents of the book are a separate PDF than the cover and the title on the spine. Creating a title for your cover on the spine is not a very complicated matter. There are 3 other modules that I've received that do have titles on the spines, so we know it can be done. Print-on-demands I have received that don't have titles on the spine: the Ravenloft box set, In Search of Adventure, Return to Keep on the Borderlands, White Plume Mountain, Against the Giants, Gothic Earth, Gazetteer, Cult of the Dragon, Calumport, Hellgate Keep, and For Duty and Deity. Often you'll see that there's an option with the print-on-demand to select either premium or standard. It has nothing to do with the color quality. That has everything to do with the weight of the paper. How thick is this paper? Scrolling through the comments section of any given title on DriveThruRPG without a print-on-demand option, you may well find a myriad of requests for print-on-demand. All of these requests going unanswered by anyone affiliated with DriveThruRPG. The reason for this is because it isn't DriveThruRPG that chooses which titles are released and in what format. It's the publisher, and in this case, it's Wizards of the Coast. On average, we're seeing about 2 titles a month released with a print-on-demand option. So if there's a title that you're hoping to see a print-on-demand option for, you need only be patient, because at this rate, we may likely see the entire back catalog reissued.